Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione, round 7 of the GT4 Thursday series. Group 1 takes us to the Kyalami circuit, close to the city of Johannesburg, in the country of South Africa. I am Tom Cairns in the commentary box, and we prepare for a 15-minute qualifying session and then a 40-minute race. We're just watching the final minute of practice before the drivers start to make their way out onto the racetrack to begin their qualifying runs. So whilst we're waiting for that, we'll just look on what happened last week. Chris came out as the double points winner, as it was a 90-minute race at Imola last week, hence why it was a double points round. Although Drifters dominated it before he received a stop-go penalty late on for speeding in the pits. So that drops him down to 7th place. So Chris won out in the end, with Kevin in 2nd place and Freeman in 3rd position. Freeman not around tonight, for whatever reason. We've got 14 drivers racing this evening. We had hoped to be a few more than that, but it is what it is. So we are expecting around 21, 22 laps of racing around Kyalami, which last hosted a Formula 1 race back in 1993. Alan Prost won out in the end, and Senna 2nd for McLaren, and Mark Blundell in 3rd for Ligier.
Green light, give it all you can.
There is a potential possibility of Kyalami returning to the Formula 1 calendar in the near future. Obviously not next year. Maybe not the year after, but definitely 2024. I think is the target. Now the first Formula 1 World Championship event to be held in Kyalami. You have to go all the way back to 1967. Pedro Rodriguez won out in a Maserati-powered Cooper. Cooper, of course, won championships in the, I think in 1959 and 60 with the late Sir Jack Brabham at the wheel. It has undergone some layout changes to the circuit. Formula 1 has raced on this layout twice, in 92 with Nigel Mansell winning, and then 93 with Alan Prost. And of course the last one before it took a hiatus in 1985, Nigel Mansell claimed the 2nd victory of his career in Formula 1 for the Williams Honda team. So at least by the time Formula 1 does go back to Kyalami, or in South Africa anyway, Williams will say that they have won the last 3 South African Grand Prix. Here's Drifters then, on a flying lap now. We'll go on board with him and see how he gets on. So coming into the first braking zone of the lap, which is a hairpin. So he brakes for the left-hander. And now he's heading towards the right-hander of Sunset. Down to 4th gear, 150 kilometers an hour. You can see how eager he is and waits patiently to get on the power. Then down to 3rd gear for the left-hander of Clubhouse. And then through the S's, which he will apply a little bit of brake, but not too much. Times the use of the throttle to perfection. And then he comes towards the Leacock corner. And then down the mine shaft back straight. Before he gets to the Crocodiles. Right-hander. There he goes up the hill again. Towards the right-hander of Cheetah. And then Ingui. The last turn before the lap ends. And so we should see a lap time on the board here for Drifter. I think 1 minute 51 was the fastest in the practice session. So 1:51.8 in this session so far. So we'll come away from Drifters. I want to have a look at the practice time actually. It was a 1:51.6. So Drifter is already just 2/10 short of that. So what else is happening on circuit? Well, as Cheese Monkey's just started the flying lap now. And that's Daz Parker who's gone off circuit. Here's Orinar in the Porsche. Posts a 1:53.5. And he goes 6th for now. Marpet clocking the time also. Nearly 2 seconds off the pace. Now looking at Rage Hunter in the Porsche. Now Marpat, who is part of the Regatta racing team alongside Orinar, hence why both of them are in Porsches. And Rage Hunter goes 11th quickest for now. 1 minute 54.5. If you have just joined us, do feel free to like and subscribe. Whilst we see one of the championship contenders, Cheese Monkey, who had a rather tough time at Imola, but at least he came home to score some decent points. Now, 9th place would normally get you 16 points. We've been a double points round it. We've got 32 for that. Now, all the finishers score points. 44 the race winner, 36 for second, 32 for third, and it's the 20th place finisher who would get 1 point. You need to finish in order to score points. As you can see, Daz Parker. He's just trailing around at the moment, just looking to see if he can get a decent time on the board here, with less than 8.5 minutes to go. It's Drifter who's fastest by more than 6/10. Cheese Monkey third for in the Janetta. He's part of the Auto Butcher squad. Spacey is his teammate, although he's not around tonight, so Cheese Monkey is the sole representative for that squad this evening. Does Parker over the line, and it's only a 1 minute 55.8. He'll definitely be wanting to find more time than that. Simon's just started a flying lap in the BMW as he heads towards turn 2. Now Simon will be aiming for a better result here. He also had a mediocre time at Imola. Didn't finish the race, unfortunately, which is his first one of the season. He's picked up a victory, though, at Alton Park in that doubleheader. But since those top two finishes at the beginning of the season, nothing has gone right for him since. He hasn't continued that kind of form, so he could do with that here. So Simon currently fifth in the standings on 159 points. As he breaks for the Crocodiles. He'll have two more corners to get through. There is Cheetah. And then the hairpin of Ingui. So he hasn't exceeded track limits before he crossed over the line there. Here goes Simon, and he goes only 12th fastest on a 1 minute 53.7. And there is Chrissy's going off track. There's Marty, who's aiming to go quicker than before. Looking at Drifter, who has extended his margin, or I say he's extended it. He's improved his lap time to 1 minute 51.3, which is nearly 3/10 faster than what he posted in the practice session before qualifying. Marty aiming to improve on his effort, which he is doing so. He's a 10th up so far, according to the Delta. So what can the BMW pilot do here? Can he get through Crocodiles nice and well? He's wide on the exit there. Can he get a nice line through Cheetah? He missed the apex slightly there, which will compromise his exit. He's definitely lost time through that part of the lap. Gets it right there on the last turn. I don't think we're actually going to see an improvement from him on this attempt. So Marty stays where he is in 4th place. Here is Cheese Monkey. Is he looking to improve from what he posted before? No improvement. There's Rage Hunter down in 11th place at the moment. He needs to get a better time in than what he's posted already. Here's Marpat, who runs wide before he gets to Crocodiles. Entering the last term, and Ingui will be looking to at least improve his time. He doesn't do so on this occasion, so he stays in 13th place. Here's Timmy Blunder, who's come around to complete a fast lap. Doesn't do it on this occasion, so he stays 9th. Simon's moved up to 8th, though, with the previous lap he has posted. Is he on an improvement here? Let's have a look. He's very much on par, so it's coming towards the Lukop corner. He's gained time through there, so he's looking good for an improvement, although he's nearly 4/10 away from Kevin at the moment, so he needs to find a decent final sector here, does Simon. Crocodiles wasn't too bad. Was he like through Cheetah? He runs wide, unfortunately. That'll cost him some time. Brakes for the last turn. Rage Hunter and Orinar. Less than 2 minutes remaining. And Drifter still leads the way by nearly 4/10 from Chris. So Orenart heading towards Crocodiles. He's run wide there, so that'll be his session over probably. And Simon Blunder goes in front of Simon with his latest lap. He's 8th right now. Kevin looking to improve on his 1 minute 52.3. Down the pit straight. Does Kevin improve from before? He does not. So he stays where he is as we watch Marty in the BMW come through. And this will be the improvement, is it? No, no improvement there. So he stays in 5th. Mr. Era doing a fine job there in 4th place. As Cheese Monkey has another go. Just seen Drifter improve his time of 1 minute 51.1. Is now 6/10 clear of everyone else. Rage Hunter stopping out on the circuit. There is Marpa aiming to improve. And the checker flag is out now, so any driver on a fast lap can complete it, as that is Marpa who goes into the wall and ends his qualifying session more ferociously than he would have liked. And there's so Cheese Monkey, we're staying on board. Looks to improve on 3rd place. I suppose his title rival Will Freeman is only P7, so that'll play into Cheese Monkey's hands later on in the race. They all have to make a mandatory pit stop at some stage. It's a 40-minute event. Now, what can the Ginetta driver do from here? Is he going to go to pole? No, he's not. We'll come away from him. And Does Parker is out on circuit. I don't know if he is on a faster lap than before. He's run wide there. So can Parker improve on his lap? The answer to that question is yes, but only slightly. So at the end of that is Drifter, who is on pole with Chris alongside. Then it's Cheese Monkey and Error making up row 2. Timmy Blunder in a brilliant 5th place ahead of Marty. Kevin and Will Freeman line up on the 4th row in 7th and 8th. Rage Hunter and Simon rounding out the top 10. Orinar and GTJ make up row 6. And at the back, we've got Marpa and Does Parker. 14 drivers involved in the race. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back. We're ready to go for the start of this race here in Kyalami, the Formula Racing League Thursday GT4 Championship in Group 1. Round 7 of the championship. We've got 4 rounds to go, 5 races technically. Well, 5 races it will be. We've got Kyalami, which is the last one before we take a Christmas break, and then return on the 6th of January in Bathurst at Mount Panorama. Round 9, the penultimate round of the car. And then the last round of the season will be on the 20th of January. It's a double header at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. There'll be 2 30-minute races, no pit stops involved in those. So it will be a very interesting encounter when we do come round to that. But in the meantime, we'll look at Kyalami. In regards to the championship, Will Freeman, who's starting 8th, goes into this race 14 points in front over Cheese Monkey in 2nd. And then Chryses is another 42 points adrift. So a victory here will be ever so important for him, as well it is for Drifter, because he didn't compete in the first couple of rounds. So he needs to make up for that here as well. So there's a lot on the line here, more than you might think. If you do have any questions, still feel free to send them in the live chat, and I'll kindly answer them for you as the race progresses.
30 seconds.
So we'll begin with the formation lap.
20 seconds.
So at the end of the formation lap, it will be a rolling start to begin this race in seemingly wet weather conditions.
10 seconds.
I've just seen that Orinar. Yeah, I've just seen that Orinar has joined after, I think he must have docked out or something. Maybe had a bit of a connection problem. He was meant to be starting 11th on the grid, but because of his arrival back in the server, we'll have to start from last position, which is 3 places lower than where he would have started. Well, the formation up is underway, so the drivers will take the opportunity to gather some temperature into their tyres, and then this race will begin very, very shortly. We are looking at around a 21 or a 22 lap race, probably be 22 or maybe 21 because of the pit stops. Let's just say 21 for now, and we'll see how the race gets on. And whatever lap the leader is on, when the clock does reach 0, will be the final lap. So we won't be able to look at from the garage's view or the onboard yet, because the game doesn't quite allow you to do that whilst under conditions where we'll wait for the rain, or wait for the race to start, I should say. It looks like Des Parker's almost trying to jump the queue a little bit there. Not sure what that is all about. So the drivers will be thinking shortly to line up in rows of 2 before this race does finally begin. I think they're in rows of 2 already. It's quite early actually that they decided to do that. So we're about to get underway for round 7 of the Formula Racing League GT4 Thursday Championship. Tom Cairns, your commentator. And so we begin right now. The drivers prepare for the start. When they cross the line, we are go, and we are underway now. So Drifter gets a decent start from the line, and he'll maintain the lead heading into the first braking zone of the circuit with Chris in second place. And Cheese Monkey's on the threat here from Error, who's thinking about a move. But look at this. Cheese Monkey going in too deep there into turn 2, and he's run wide. So Cheese Monkey's audacious manoeuvre has backfired already on him. So he falls to the back. He's leaving himself with all sorts of work to do between now and the end of this race. So Drifter out in front. Chris in second. Once they go through set to 1, it will update the leaderboard, and we'll have more of an idea who is where. I know that Cheese Monkey's at the back of the field. I think a couple of other cars have had some moments as well. Martin, GTJ are a couple of them. Orinar is struggling at the back as well. And Cheese Monkey's actually only in 4th place, so he didn't go as down as far as I thought he would be. He has lost the position to Kevin as a result of his over-ambitious manoeuvre. Error's lost ground as well. He started 4th on the grid at the start, and now he's down in 10th place. He's got some damage to his bonnet as well. So there are the leaders. Heading towards the right-hander of Crocodiles. Sees all over the back of Drifter. And Will Freeman has had a terrible start from 8th on the grid, and he's down in 11th position. Chrissy's thinking about a move on Drifter as the drivers come round to complete the first lap of this race. So Drifter will be looking to maintain his momentum, just trying to generate a little bit more temperature into his tyres as they go through the small right kink of turn 1. So we've got plenty of activity going on further behind. Error's managed to get back into 8th position. Despite the damage he's got, Parker's done well to get up into 7th place behind Rage Hunter. Although Hunter's just lost the position, I think, to Timmy Blunder. So Timmy Blunder through into 5th. So there are your leaders going through mine shaft. Proceeds 7/10 behind Drifter. Drifter on course for 40 points as it stands. Proceeds getting 36. Cheese Monkey would collect 28. So Drifter would only close in on Cheese Monkey by 12 points, with Freeman down in 10th place. 10th place would get you 14 points. Drifter would close in on Freeman by 26. But with the positions as they are, Will Freeman and Cheese Monkey will be tied on points, but with 2 wins to his name, Cheese Monkey would go into the championship lead. So all 14 drivers still running at the present moment. The rain is expected to stay for the next 10 minutes at least. The track temperature of 26 degrees, air temperature of 22. So 5 minutes into this race now, we're on lap 3. There's Drifter, 1 second clear of Chryses. Now, in terms of when they can make their mandatory pit stops, they can make them at any time. They've got to do it before the race finishes, of course, so they could do it with 1 lap to go if they wanted to. And they don't really want to be coming in when the pit lane's busy, though. I have a feeling that at least one driver will decide to pit in at the end of this lap. They're saying that the track is greasy, so that won't stop the leaders from back lane. And there's Error getting past Rage Hunter for 6th place. Rage Hunter running wide at Cheetah. And Error makes a mistake of his own, so Rage Hunter will get back through ahead of him into 6th place. Or will he? No, he doesn't. Error remarkably hanging on there. And Simon is in the pits, the first driver to make a mandatory pit stop. He wants this pit stop done and out of the way, so can he make an undercut work on a lot of those ahead? He was running in 12th before he came in for his stop. And now we go back to the leaders as Chryses really playing Drifter. Now the two go through the S's together. Simon is still in the pits at the moment. He's taking his time. I don't know whether he's adding fuel in or just changing the tyres, but he seems to be in there longer than we thought he would be. The leaders are almost coming round to lap him. And Chryses still chasing. And Simon is stuck in the pits. I don't know if he's going to actually return to the racetrack at all. So could this be another DNF for Simon, or will he actually come out of the pits? I think he's leaving his box now. So that he was in there for a long, long time. And so Simon, I don't know whether he's done that so he doesn't get in the way of the other drivers who are coming around to lap him. So Chryses all over the back of Drifter. Does he think about a move? He goes to the inside of Drifter, into the right-hander. Can't quite make the move stick. He thought about it, but wisely tucks back in behind the BMW. So Chryses thinks about moving to the S's. Chryses on the inside. Does he go through here? He goes out onto the curb. Drifter holds him off once again. I think Chryses will get him back. I can see Drifter running wide. That's going to give Chryses the outside into Lukop. Drifter holds on to the lead for now. Chryses pressurising him all he can. Kevin will be happy to be seeing this going on because he's closing in at the same time. Chryses dive into the inside, into Crocodiles. Has he gone in too deep? Has he got the job done? He's probably gone in a bit too deep. Drifters fights back. Chryses on the outside as they head through Cheetah. And Chryses has surely got the lead now, and he has done. So we've got a new race leader in Chryses. He goes in front of the BMW of Drifter. And now they're coming towards the end of lap 5. And Kevin will have closed in on all of that as well. He's now 1.8 seconds behind Drifter and just over a couple of seconds behind Chryses. So will Drifter decide to fight back, or will he decide to wait until the pit stops take place? Oh, Chryses is one wide at turn 2. Now is Drifter going to take advantage? Not quite so. I mean, to be fair, on the outside there, he seems to have found some grip in that runoff area. Keeps hold of the place ahead of Drifter. Kevin not too far behind. He's continuing to close in. He's now less than 1.5 seconds off the lead, is Kevin. So he's really closing in all the time. I think Drifter's beginning to struggle now, actually. And Cheese Monkey's less than 4 seconds off this group. And GTJ in the pits, in the Mercedes AMG. So the two in front. Just seen Will Freeman go up into 7th place as well in the McLaren. As it stands now, he would keep the championship lead. So Chryses still in front. As Drifter runs wide and Kevin's right over the back of him now. So you can just see that Drifter's losing ground on Chryses and Kevin is closer to him than the BMW is to the Audi. So Chryses now with a 1.8 second lead, it says, nearly 2 seconds now. So Kevin will just take his time before he decides to make a move. GTJ is rejoining 13th place. He's still on the lead lap, actually, to the drivers up front. So he doesn't need to worry about needing to get out of the way of blue flags. And Marty now in the pits. In the BMW. He's one of 6 BMW drivers in this race. But of course, some are in different teams to others. Marty, part of the Piston Broke squad, spelled P-I-S-T for your information, not the expletive that you might be thinking of. So Marty in the pits. How long will he be in there for? Well, Simon is still stuck in there. I think he's back in the pits now, is Simon. So it looks as though his race is all but over. Marty rejoins. He's still in front of GTJ. Doesn't look like any of the leaders are pitting in at the end of this lap. Although I could be wrong. Chryses decides to stay out, as does Drifter, as does Kevin. And what will Cheese Monkey decide to do? He looked like he was going to go in for a moment there. He did think about it, but decides another lap is what he needs. 7 laps in now. Chryses' lead is now 2 seconds. And looks like Rage Hunter and Daz Parker in the pits together. Now can Marty get back in front of those two? We'll go on board with Marty whilst we wait for those 2 drivers who are stuck in the pits to come out. He runs wide there through Crocodiles. He won't want to be doing that too many times. And that will compromise his line and exit of the Crocodiles corner. I don't know whether he's struggled to get some temperature into his tyres. See one of the cars heading out of the pits now, and it looks like Rage Hunter is in front of Marty. Although Marty's tyres will be more up to temperature than the sister BMW. So Chrissy's still in the lead, 2 seconds clear of Drifter. Kevin another 1.5 seconds behind. 5 drivers have pitted so far. So Chrissy's gap was cut down to 1.7 seconds. Drifter beginning to close that back in a little bit. And there's R&R at the back. He's still yet to make his mandatory pit stop. We're coming towards the halfway point in this race now. And it's still Chrissy's in the lead. Looking for back-to-back victories, which will do his championship charge no harm at all. There's Will Freeman currently 6th on the road. Although he'll want to be in front of Team Blunder as soon as he can. It's getting held up by him at the moment. This is the closest battle we've got out on circuit at the present moment. Will Freeman going to the outside as Team Blunder fights it as they approach the first braking zone. Blunder protects the inside. Freeman will try and complete a switchback on him. Doesn't quite go through. And error now in the pits. As Freeman looks to make a move to the outside into the right-hander of Sunset. Freeman still looming all over the back of the Mercedes as he looks to make a move. Freeman to the inside. Has he gone in too deep or has he got the job done? He looks like he's got the job done, but Blunder's fighting back. Freeman goes side by side with him. Goes out onto the curb. Blunder protects his position, albeit temporarily, as he enters the pit lane. Kevin also in the BMW. He looks to rejoin. I'll try and complete an undercut on the leaders ahead.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
And Orinar also in the pits. So Kevin will be looking to get out as he rejoins. He joins in 6th on the road. What about the top two ahead? Precies and Drifter coming towards Lukot corner. Precies is part of the Not Fast, Just Furious squad. Hutch is his teammate, but Hutch is not around tonight. In regards to the team standings, it's Pocket Rockets Racing who came into this round 14 points in front of Overdose Racing. Now, part of the Pocket Rockets squad are Will Freeman and Mariola. Freeman is the only driver representing them this evening. As Chrisese comes in. Now, where is Kevin? Kevin in the number 14 is coming through the S's. Now, for Chrisese, he needs to get out in front of him. Now Kevin is through the right-hander of Lukops and down the mine shaft back straight. He's still in the pits right now. Kevin just wants to get the hammer down as he heads through Crocodiles. And he's got 2 more corners to negotiate before he can think about getting past Chrisese, who has done his stop now and is away. And he should keep hold of his position ahead of Kevin. Kevin is quite some way behind, actually. He's coming through the hairpin. Now it's down to Drifter ahead. Cheese Monkey trying to close down on that 7-second margin. 4th could well be his best bet in this race. Now Drifter has not got any traffic in front of him at the moment, so he might actually decide to go on a longer first stint before he does duck into the pit lane. And who's that that's stopped there? Looks like GTJ, who has stopped out on the circuit. He's made a mistake. And he's ducking into the pit lane, presumably to get some repair done, as Drifter comes into the pits at the same time. He's looking to cover off Kevin and Chrisese. Cheese Monkey will go through into the lead for now. I think he's going to win this race. He may well just go on a long first stint. Oh, that's Drifter who's appeared to have missed his box there. I'm not sure he's supposed to reverse in the pit lane. And Marpat's been in there for quite some time as well, by the looks of it, unless I'm mistaken. GTJ a long way behind those who are still running. Chrisese is coming round, and he's going to take what is effectively back the race lead. And Kevin, I think, is going to go past Drifter. He is so. So Kevin effectively now up to second place. Drifter has completed his stop. And he rejoins in 5th on track. I think GTJ has decided to call it a day. And Marpat still hasn't left his box yet. His windscreen wipers are still going. I don't think GTJ's windscreen wipers are continuing to go in, so I think that could well be his day of racing over as Cheese Monkey comes into the pits from the race lead. So Freeman is the next driver to take over ahead of the pack. He's now the only driver yet to make a pit stop. And I'm looking out for Crises, who's coming through. Pushing very, very hard. As Cheese Monkey hasn't exited his box yet. So Crises will go through. Cheese Monkey's exited his box. And Kevin is coming round. Where's Cheese Monkey? There he is, look. Is he in front of Kevin? He's definitely ahead of Drifter. I think Kevin's just got in front of Cheese Monkey for what is effectively now second place. So Drifter's lost out poorly in the pit stops. He's quite some way behind those two now, actually. So I think Drifter looks to be content for fourth position now. There is Drifter coming through Lucott. And they won't keep hold of the race lead, but can he get up to fifth position? Cheese Monkey's still closing in. And Blonder fighting it out with Error for sixth position. And Blunder to the outside. Does Error fight it off? He does fight it off. Stays to the inside. Blunder looks to make a switch back on the inside on the exit of Lucott, but can't quite do it there. And Freeman has decided to stay out there for another lap. We're on lap 15. And there's Kevin, still under pressure from Cheese Monkey in the fight for third, or second I should say. But don't discount Will Freeman yet, because if he makes a very quick pit stop when he comes in, he could throw himself as a contender for the podium. So Will Freeman contemplating as to when to come into the pit lane. Just looking what the gap is now between himself and Crises. It's 30 seconds. He is going to carry on for another lap. And there's Monkey right behind Kevin. Cheese Monkey's still thinking about a pass. And I think this is definitely playing into Freeman's hands. So a second place finish for Freeman is definitely a possibility now. You can see Kevin running wide there at Cheetah. Monkey thinks about a switchback on the pit straight. He will be in the slipstream of the BMW. The BMW goes to the left. Cheese Monkey waits in the slipstream. He won't go for it into turn 2. He'll definitely give it a try. So this is the closest battle we've got out on circuit. We've got just over 9 minutes remaining here in Kyalami. The gap is 29.6 seconds between Freeman in the lead and Chris in second. Kevin is 40 seconds off the race lead whilst he's tussling with Cheese Monkey. Here he goes. Cheese Monkey to the outside into Luke. Is Kevin going to hold him off again here? He'll want to hold and cover the line on the exit so that Cheese Monkey doesn't have a run on the mineshaft back straight. Kevin getting a little bit out of shape. And Freeman's in. So Freeman in for his mandatory pit stop with 8 minutes to go. So stops in the box. Chris should go past him, I think. Freeman's still there. So Chris takes back the lead of the race. Kevin still fending off from Cheese Monkey. I think Freeman is still in his box. He is. So he will not get second place. He'll drop back to 5th. Whilst we watch Cheese Monkey think about a move. Freeman exits his box and he will rejoin in 5th. So he'll still keep hold of the lead in the championship battle between himself and Cheese Monkey after this. Chris and Kevin will close in a little bit, but not by much. Now the fastest up of the race that we've seen here. Oh, looking at the fastest up of the race, it should be around about similar to what it was in qualifying. It could well be a 20-lap race. Cheese Monkey thinking about a move on Kevin to the outside, and he's through. So Cheese Monkey has got through. His persistence has paid off. He's ahead of the BMW at last. So he's getting tipped round though by Kevin. Kevin goes off. Cheese Monkey has spun round. And Drifter's got through with the pair of them. So Drifter now back into second place. Monkey will not like that tap from Kevin. Kevin didn't slow down in time. Monkey is ahead of him, but not in the position that he wanted. And Will Freeman will be closing back in on those guys now. So Chris coming round. With 5 minutes 50 to go. He's done the 17th lap. It's going to be tight, so it's going to be a 20 lap or a 21 lap race. So Freeman 6.4 seconds behind Kevin in the last sector. The gap is now 5.8. So Freeman still continuing to close in. He is on the fresher tyres, so he can use that to his advantage, whilst Timmy Blunder and Error fights over 6th place. Timmy Blunder in the Mercedes AMG, Error in the BMW. Both break for turn 2. And Blunder stays in front for now. Freeman, where is he now in terms of the gap? He's got the gap down to, well, it's now gone back up again. It's 6.1. Cruze's lead now is nearly 17 seconds over second place Drifter. I think it's definitely going to be a 21-lap race. With the way Cruze is going about his business here. And 6.1 seconds at the end of the last set between Kevin in 4th and Freeman in 5th. It's 6 seconds. Cruze will just take it easy now between here and the checker flag. Here's Arenat. He's in 10th place. Of course, to score some points. There's a 14th place finish in Misano and a non-finish at Imola, but this is going to be his best result so far. 14 championship points will be added to his total. There's Marty currently in 8th place. So if the positions were to remain as they are, Will Freeman in 5th would collect 25 points, which adds his total to 258. Cheese Monkey, who's 3rd, would get 32 points. He'd go on to 251. So the gap would be 7 points between those two. Cruze, who is on course for victory, would get 40, which takes his total to 217. And Drifter, who's in 2nd, would get 36 points. Would move up to 192. So he would move up to 4th in the championship standings. And Kevin, who is currently 10th in the championship standings, coming into this round. Bearing in mind he did miss 3 races before tonight. 4th would net him 28 points, moving on to 148. So we'd move ahead of Omroz, Marty and Simon, and possibly Rage Hunter if he's lucky, although he's only getting 28 points. So he would actually maybe move up to 7th place. Just seeing Cruze at the moment. I think this will be his penultimate lap. We are tight on time. As Cheese Monkey closes back in on Drifter in the fight for P2. He's got to hope Cruze does another lap to buy him more time to get past the BMW for P2. And Freeman's closed back in on Kevin now. It's just under 4 seconds. So Cheese Monkey still closing in on Drifter. So 30 seconds remaining, and it looks like Cruze is going to do another lap. If the clock does reach 0 before the line, it will be the last lap of the race that he's currently on. He may decide just to back off, actually, just to avoid needing to do another lap. I think, actually, this is going to be the last lap. So Cruze is on course to take back-to-back victories and keep his slim chances in the championship alive. Chris in the Audi is going to come through to win in Kyalami in the FRL. Congratulations to him.
Has finished the race.
Drifter trying to hold off Cheese Monkey behind. And he's going to do. Cheese Monkey out of time. If he had one more lap, he might just have got him. But it's Drifter who will finish second. Cheese Monkey third. Kevin in fourth place. Not too far ahead of Will Freeman, who is in fifth. He keeps hold of the championship lead. Timmy Blunder will be sixth, ahead of Error in seventh place. Then we've got Marty, who is trailing around in eighth place on his own. And we've got Rage Hunter, who's in a battle with Orinar for ninth place. Now, is Orinar ahead of him? He's diving to the inside, and Orinar does get ahead of Rage Hunter. So the Porsche is in front into ninth place on the last lap. So nice driving that from Orinar, ahead of Rage Hunter. He'll come through to ninth. Rage Hunter will be 10th. Duz Parker will be the last of the finishers in 11th place, leaving only Marpat, GTJ, and Simon failing to finish. But Chris is your race winner here in Kyalami. So here's your final race result. Chris wins for the second race running, ahead of Drifter in P2. Cheese Monkey having to settle for third despite his collision with Kevin in the closing stages. Will Freeman in fifth, but at least he still keeps hold of the championship lead. Timmy Blunder sixth, Error seventh, Marty eighth, Orinar getting past Rage Hunter on the last lap to take home ninth. Rage Hunter 10th and Duz Parker the last finishes in 11th. Marpat, GTJ and Simon won't score any points as they did not finish. Definitely not completed enough laps anyway. As the championship as it is, Cheese Monkey getting third place in that race. He gets 32. Will Freeman in fifth gets 25, which means the gap at the top has shrunk from 14 to 7. So Will Freeman still in the lead going into the next round of the championship, which will be in Bathurst in Mount Panorama on Thursday, the 6th of January, as the FRL takes a Christmas break. Thank you for joining us. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll do it over again in 3 weeks' time. I'm Tom Cairns, and I will speak to you soon when the Formula Racing League returns.